Okay, so this is just a flat brush, alizarin crimson. I just put a bit of water in my alizarin crimson. The only reason I'm doing this is just because I don't want black, right? And I'm going with the movement of the flower.
Not gonna work.
Movement going like a fan out. And you see over the alizarin,
Click on got it. And get rid of that.
because it's transparent, you can see still the border or the white I've used there. I've traced when I traced the flower, which is
You want
great.
this fairly thick?
Pardon?
You want this fairly thick?
No. It's just touch a bit of water on your crimson, just a bit, so it moves easy, and just go across. Don't worry about the crimson going over the border. Doesn't matter. Because what we'll do is later on, what we're going to do is go back and fix the background once we are done with the flower, painting the flower. All I'm doing right now is we just want to cover that black. It will dry dark. It will dry like almost like black. Going to let it dry. Now these colors are a bit tricky. Magenta and fuchsia and all of those colors are a bit tricky to really get exactly the same what you see there. So we're going to try as much as we can, but it's not really about getting the color. It's about the brush stroke. So this is the alizarin crimson, and we put a bit of ultramarine violet in it, and a very, very little white in there. White is very strong. We're still working at the back, the flower in like the back part of the flower. So now I have a round brush, and what I'm going to do is take my brush and go down and put the color, and then just let it go. Put the color and let it go. Don't push too hard on your brush. Now you could do it this way, or you could do it this way out. But I think that from out in is better. Now, when you're doing this, you want to follow the movement of that petal. It's not flat. It has a curve, a really soft curve. I'm going to put a bit of water in my color because that's too thick. Yeah, that's better. Okay. And you'll see, I mean, when you thin your color, the black underneath, the dark color underneath will show, making a color that you're putting darker, which is great. This is what we want. Let's do it softly and take our time. Bring your color down. You can bring color all the way in if you want. This is medium tone. So we started with dark. We're putting kind of a medium tone right now. Careful with the alizarin crimson because it is transparent. If you go over a couple of times, it might lift. So very soft, gentle, gentle. It's like using a feather. Okay, that's good. See how I'm putting the color into the center from outside, as if there's like an invisible kind of dot in here that I'm trying to push my color in to that center. From outside in. Outside in. It looks too light right now because, let me see if I can turn this off. No, too light. It looks too light. It's not that light here. It's really kind of darker. But it will give you an idea that it's not that light. It's honestly not that light. It's darker, way darker than what you're seeing.
Yeah, mine's pretty dark.
Yeah, good. Let's see if I can adjust this video setting. No. Okay. This one in the back, it's going to dry darker. It has to dry darker because it's on black. And this is only the second layer, and we're using watered down paint. So we're glazing still. It's nothing, it's not heavy. Acrylic dries darker. So if you see it light and it's you feel like it's still too light, it's okay. We can just darken the color with adding a bit of black. But I think it should be okay. One more. Out, from in, out. Okay.
put much in. Oops.
Okay, so it's the same mixture, alizarin crimson, a touch of ultramarine violet, and I'm taking a bit more white in my brush, put it in that mixture. Just make sure that your white is not too strong, just a tiny little bit, because you'll see a tiny little bit of white makes a big difference. So now I'm going to leave those in the back alone. Don't touch them, the back ones, leave them alone. Come to this little group right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is with my round brush, looks to me like I'm going to take my brush and slowly this is too strong of white. Okay, bring in some alizarin crimson. Wipe my brush, and all I'm going to do is with my brush, if your brush is too big, change it to a smaller one so you can control your brush stroke. So what you want to do is like start from the top of the petal and push your paint in. Again, don't worry about the color. If it's like not purple, you can't see the purple, it doesn't matter. What matters right now is seeing those petals in the back, shaping them. We're layering colors. We're layering our petals. Now, if I find that I went too far with the color and it's too light, I can go back and darken my colors a bit. All right, just a bit kind of. So we're doing like hint of these petals in the back. This is a great exercise in value scale. So you're the darks and lights. I'm still using the same brush. I did not reload my brush. I'm still using the same. It's like a dry brush right now. Oh God, it's so. If you find that your brush is not moving easily on the canvas, wet your color a bit. Center should always look darker. That's why you get layers. If the center becomes light in here, or here, anywhere where the petals are, as soon as you go to the center of the flower, it should get darker in there. I take a bit more alizarin crimson and ultramarine violet. dip my brush in water. No white. Now, no white.
No white.
No white.
No white.
Don't clean your brush though from the white you had before. Just add some alizarin crimson, some more alizarin crimson and ultramarine violet, and dip your brush in water. So you get this streaky kind of brush stroke. This is way too white. I'm going to try to get a table, an easel, and put it up on the easel. The more layers of alizarin crimson we put here, the darker it will look. Or the lighter, I'm sorry, the lighter it will look, not darker. Jeez. Right, now. I'm going to do one more petal and then I'm going to stop. This big one here. It's very important that this big one in the front, that one, this part of that petal inside should stay darker. So when I'm coloring this, I'm going to come from outside, put my brush, push my brush in, my color in. See, I'm not taking my color all the way to the end. Okay, I'm not taking my color all the way to the end.
And what color is this? Only
This is
alizarin?
yes, alizarin crimson, a bit of ultramarine violet, and some water in there.
Okay.
But I'm just pushing my color in from outside in, but don't take it all the way to the center, to the end.
That's what you're doing. You're not taking it to the end. So that looks really cool.
Yes, because you want to keep that part, this part here, dark. So you just kind of, you want to take advantage of that dark layer we put.
That is so nice.
Hmm?
That is so nice.
She's amazing. Yeah. I taught her everything she knows.
What'd she say?
Nothing. Nothing, teach.
We can all hear you.
I know. I forgot. I had it on mute because the dogs are barking and I just took it off. Sorry. I said I taught you everything you know.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Okay, I'm going to take a bit of
You're amazing.
ultramarine violet. Pardon?
You're
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you. A bit of ultramarine violet, and I'm going over these ones in the back because they're not drying darker, so I need them to be dark, but they're not drying darker there.
What are you doing, Lael? You just touching up the,
Yes, I just took a bit of ultramarine violet
You're just kind of putting it here and there.
and put a bit of water in there like a glaze. And I went over these petals in the back that were too bright and just put ultramarine violet on them and then just.
No, I think just that for now. Just a little bit of ultramarine violet on its own.
so here we go. And I'll show you what we can do. What we can do after is we can glaze whatever color we put on. And if we don't, you know, if it's not the right color we want, that's okay, we'll glaze it. All right, so I am using the same round brush, and I'm going to work on this right there, this part, okay? So I have alizarin crimson with white, and I'm going to go from top in. I wiped my brush a bit because too much color on it.
Little thicker, I think. Or tiny bit more white. Do this.
See how I'm not going all the way in? I'm leaving this center inside here, right there, darker. Again, I'm going to load my brush with color, wipe it a bit, and do and paint this. Okay, perfect. Good. Everybody's okay? You're doing okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of.
kind of? Why? Honestly, with this,
The colors are not the same, but anyway, that's okay.
what you see on the monitor is not exactly the right.
Yeah. I understand that. Yeah.
Now I darkened my color a bit, meaning that I added a bit more alizarin crimson to my alizarin and white. I added more alizarin to darken it a bit. To do this one here next to it, next to that big, beautiful petal that you see, there's the center of the flower, but it's not highlighted the same way.
So not as light, Lyle?
All right, so to highlight this part, it's not highlighted that much. I will have to use white because that's the only color we have to highlight. I'm going to put a bit of white, touch of white. You can hardly see it, but the only way to know if this is the right color is to try it.
It's only the
It's white.
It's white.
Yes.
White and
A touch of white with alizarin crimson. Touch.
oh.
Okay, and make your color transparent. So make a glaze, and from out, in, out, in.
You're not using the magenta, you're using a
No, yeah, I'm not using magenta because not everybody has magenta, but you're welcome to use magenta if you have it.
Oh, this is too watery.
I'm not
What?
taking my color in, okay? I'm not pushing my color all the way in. I'm keeping my color out, and my brush doesn't have too much color on it. It's not loaded. There is color on it, but it's not loaded. So it's okay. And it's a glaze. Glaze is the best. Flowers are delicate. And the only
Okay.
way to show how delicate they are is to put thin layers over and over on top of each other. So if you put a thick layer, you're going to have flat. Again, alizarin crimson, touch of white, water, bit of water. You have to gauge how watery your color is, and from out in. This is just, and I'm being really careful not to go over too many times the same spot because I am using a glaze. So even if this is not highlighted enough, but that's okay. I'll wait for it to dry and I'll come back, and at the end, this is what we have to do. We have to go back and use a smaller brush and do detail. But for now, we're just doing basic, the basic colors. At this point, I'm going to see if there's anything else I need to add. Over here, there's like a purple colored petal in here. You can hardly see it, but it's there. So I'm taking ultramarine violet, put it right here, and ultramarine violet is transparent as well. And I'm going to, with my round brush, come back here, turn around, turn my brush around, and then there we go.